Hey everybody, Ace Trainer Liam here and welcome to another episode of Form Fight. Form Fight is a series where we look at Pokemon with more than one form and we try and figure out which of those forms is the best. And so we can see each of these forms in action, we stage a Metronome battle between the different forms so that we can see just how good they look on the battlefield. If you're a fan of the Form Fight series and you're hungry for more, hit the like button so you can show your love for this series, and of course, hit subscribe so that you never miss an episode. But with that out of the way, let's see who we're looking at today. Today we're going to be comparing the two forms of the mythical Pokemon Shaymin, Land Form and Sky Form. Shaymin was introduced in Generation 4 and has only ever been catchable in Sinnoh's Flower Paradise, at the most northern point of Seabreak Path. This route, however, was only accessible if one had the event item Oak's Letter. The only other ways you can access Shaymin is via Pokemon events or by a special mission in Pokemon Ranger Guardian Signs. However you first obtain your Shaymin, it will always be in its land form. However, in the daytime, if you choose to use the key item Gracidia, it will transform into Sky Form. Just be aware that it will transform back into Shaymin Land Form once night falls. Let's compare the two. The Pokedex tells us that Shaymin Land Form stands at 0.2 meters tall and weighs 2.1 kilograms, and that Shaymin Sky Form stands at 0.4 meters tall and weighs 5.2 kilos. Since Sky Form is simply a transformation of Shaymin Land Form and not a separate Pokemon, they share a Pokedex entry, which states it can dissolve toxins in the air to instantly transform ruined land into a lush field of flowers. The blooming of Gracidia flowers confers the power of light upon it. Feelings of gratitude are the message it delivers. If we compare their appearances, Landform takes the shape of a simple grass-type hedgehog with a little floral decoration, whereas Skyform Shaymin has a more deer-like appearance and rather than a full flower, simply has a petal sticking out from its neck. When we look at their shiny versions, they simply change their grassy green areas into closer to turquoise but not quite turquoise green areas. That's literally it. Now let's take a look at their typing, weaknesses, and resistances. Firstly, we have Shaymin's Land Form, which is a pure Grass-type Pokemon, so it's weak to Flying, Poison, Bug, Fire, and Ice-type moves, and its resistances are Ground, Water, Grass, and Electric-type attacks. As for Sky Form, it's a dual Grass-type and Flying-type Pokemon, meaning its weaknesses are Flying, Poison, Rock, Fire, and Ice. And this time the Ice weakness is a 4-times weakness. Skyform resists fighting, water, and grass, but of course being a flying type is completely immune when it comes to ground type attacks. Now we'll take a look at the stats and abilities of these Pokemon forms. Firstly, we have Shaymin's Land Form, with what can only be described as an even stat distribution. 6 stats, all with the same value. HP, Attack, Defense, Special Attack, Special Defense, and Speed, all of base power 100. Triple digits across the board is certainly nothing to scoff at. It gives you the freedom to build your Landform Shaymin whichever way you desire. You can build it for offense, or you can focus on building its bulk. Shaymin Land's only possible ability is Natural Cure, which removes status conditions upon switching out, which is particularly useful for eliminating crippling statuses like burns or poison, and also freeing Shaymin from paralysis so it doesn't get left as a sitting duck. Now Skyform Shaymin trades out some bulk in order to better its offense, losing base power in both defense and special defense in order to increase its special attack and speed, and raise its attack by 3 base power, although who knows why that was approved. Shaymin Sky's only ability is Serene Grace, which increases the likelihood of moves with added effects causing said added effects. So for example, it makes Air Slash more likely to flinch an opponent. This comes in especially handy when faced with an opponent who doesn't outspeed Shaymin Sky, but can likely take it out in a couple of hits. Being more likely to cause a flinch can be the difference between winning and losing. If you can prevent your opponent from ever landing a move, you can secure yourself a victory in the unlikeliest of scenarios. Now it's down to me to decide which of these two Pokemon forms I prefer, which is kind of difficult because I generally don't really care for grass-type Pokemon. To me, they just have too many weaknesses and it really puts me off using them in battle. On top of that, I also don't tend to like event-only Pokemon because I don't feel they're a challenge to acquire, because instead of having to work to get them in the game and like do a big long side quest that culminates in you finding and catching these Pokemon in-game, you simply walk to GameStop and go, "Hi, can I have that Shaymin code please?" And then you get handed the Pokemon. So it really takes the fun out of the gotta catch 'em all side of things. But I do have to decide which of these forms I like the most as part of this series, and I'm leaning towards Skyform. The reason being is that I just think it looks cooler, it's got a better design than just a hedgehog. On top of that, I do like that it's a quicker, more offensive version of Shaymin. I prefer to attack quickly than to sit and defend. And of course, rounding it all off, it has the much better ability in my opinion. But of course, it's time to see what these two Pokemon bring to the battlefield, and what better way to do it than in a Metronome battle. As with every Metronome battle we do in this series, I'm just going to point out the Pokemon that you see battling here have max IVs in all stats, 0 EVs in all stats, stats, they're not holding any held items, and they all have their, well, it's Shaymin, so he only has one ability in either form, so they all have their regular abilities. The only thing giving these Pokemon an advantage or a disadvantage is their typing and their base stats. But with all that out of the way, let's have a look at what the Metronome brings today. Let's go. It's Metronome time with Shaymin versus Shaymin. Cute little hedgehog versus cute little reindeer. You will notice Shaymin Land and Shaymin Sky have switched sides from when we were doing the comparison between the two Pokemon. That's just because I had a lot of trouble trying to get Shaymin Sky to stay as Shaymin Sky, because of course it reverts back to Shaymin Land during the night time. Here we go with Shaymin Sky using Iron Defense, going to sharply raise its defense stat. That's a good little setup for the start of this battle. That could work in Skyform's favor. A Cell Rock, oh my word. Not going to do a lot of damage, but nice little priority move there. Although priority doesn't really help when you've got the Metronome in play, because you have to use Metronome first. Nature's Madness was avoided. A friggin' Tapu Koko move. I like it. What we're going to see from the other land, Thunderfang. That's going to be neutral damage on the flying and grass type Shaymin Sky. I do think Sky has the advantage here, purely because it's faster and it's got better special attack, especially with an Ice Beam. Oh my god! Straight onto the landform. That's not good at all, but luckily it was going from the Sky side to the land side. If the Ice Beam was coming from the land side, that would have been a very different play. Bulldoze isn't going to do a lot of damage, resisted by both the land forms. The Sky form, of course, is immune to it, so it doesn't get hit, but they are going to see a speed drop, but it's not very relevant because they're already the slower of the two forms. Let's see what we've got from this one. Stealth Rock not going to be effective at all because there are no switching in and out in here. It's just two teams of two. So Stealth Rock was a completely wasted move. Here we see a Twister coming out, going to hit both these Shaymin. Not for a lot of damage though. Twister not really the best dragon type move out there. Pretty weak, but can cause a flinch if you were able to outspeed, which in this case we weren't. There's a heal order, the signature move, well, one of the signature moves of Vespiquen. Going to heal up that little bit of HP that Shaymin Sky form had lost. Here we go with the other Sky form. What are we going to get from this one? Fury Swipes. Okay, a little bit of chip damage, but it is on the Shaymin Land that has lost that majority of its HP already. Like, it's already lower than half. It's getting down to a quarter HP. Now it's time for the land side to retaliate. What have they got? Flower Shield. Okay, that's not a move you see every day. Doesn't that affect everybody? Wait, we get a defense rise from both the land forms. It does! Oh my word, it affects all grass type Pokemon, I believe. I believe that's how it works. So everybody just got a defense boost. The Shaymin Sky on the left is really lucky. It's got such high defense now. And there we go with a Ring Out. That's going to do quite a bit of damage. You know, it's brought that Sky form down to lower than half HP. It's got an opportunity. The land side has got an opportunity to claw this back. As we see a Metal Claw. Oh, but that one land form is being very meticulously bullied at the moment. He needs to get some kind of healing move going on. We get a Bind coming out. There we go. Bit more damage on the shiny Shaymin Land, and he's going to feel that every turn. Well, not every turn. It's gonna fade out after a few turns, but for the next few turns, if it can survive, another Stealth Rock, which of course fails because Stealth Rock is, you can use it once. We get a Lock On. It's not really time to be sorting your accuracy out, mate. It's time to start attacking. You really need to do this. There's that Bind damage that I was talking about. It will go for a few turns after this before kind of petering out. Let's see what Skyform has next. Here we go. Metronome speaketh, and Metronome say Leech Life, which is super effective. Oh my word. Didn't do too much though, because of course Shaymin Sky, its attack stat isn't amazing. Like, it's 103, but Triple Kick, now that could do some damage. Oh, actually no, it can't. It didn't do a lot at all, did it really? The third kick does a little bit more damage than the first two, but it's not a great deal. That's a shame. That's a shame for for the Sky side, but it's lucky for the land side. Land form Shaymin Shiny is going to use Dive, which isn't going to be very effective since all the Shaymin forms resist water, but it keeps it safe for a turn. We see a neutral Thunderfang coming out, does barely any damage at all though. Oh, Bind still takes effect whilst Landform is under the water. That's a damn shame. But here we go. What are we getting? Magical Leaf. Okay, that's going to do a little tiny bit of chip that actually did a lot more than I thought it would do. So that's quite impressive. What's the other Sky form going to do? It's going to go with Dragon Breath. That has got to be a kill. That's got to be a kill. It's going to be, isn't it? Landform is down. Remember though, this isn't over. We do have a landform below the battlefield using Dive. Not going to do a lot of damage because it's resisted. It is in a lot of trouble. There's the bind. It needs to survive. Oh my god, it's on like 1 HP. It needs to survive whatever happens with these two sky forms to be able to stay in this game. An Ice Punch is going to be the death... Oh, that is the death blow completely. Landform didn't stand a chance, did they? Skyform is victorious. So there's your winner of the Metronome battle, but what do you think? Let me know which is your favourite form of Shaymin, Land or Sky? Drop us a comment down below letting everybody know exactly which one gets your vote and why it gets your vote. Be sure to follow me on Twitter for all my latest updates and come and hang out on Twitch in one of my live streams. If you'd like to see your name in the credits at the end of the video and you'd also like to see my videos before anyone else, consider becoming a Patreon. It's $1 a month, which costs less than the price of a cactus. Make sure you subscribe and turn notifications on so that you never miss a video, and until next time, I'm Ace Trinillium, keep on training.